Spicy season sisters.
Right.
All right. All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Good evening.
We live, we live, we live.
Hello, hello.
Yes, yes.
Oh, no, we cannot. We're doing live.
We got
We
Okay. Oh.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. It is episode
24.
24. Can y'all believe it? We have been doing this for a minute now.
Right.
Episode 24. I am Renette, aka the Next Level Chick.
I'm Latoya, your CEO partner.
I'm Simply Tammy, your spicy coach.
I'm Coach Belle Benson, your favorite certified cognitive behavior coach.
All right. So we have so much going on, and as you know, we are on episode 24, and we are doing a series, Get Your Ish Together.
Yes.
So our first conversation was about intentions, and it was hot.
Right.
And then the second one, we did spirit. And so tonight we are talking about habits. And we are super, super excited about the habits and talking about this. So habits are something that are really, really important. So let's talk about the synopsis. I was waiting for the episode to come on. Okay, here, hold on. Here we go.
Spicy
All right.
Squad, thank you for showing up. We are so glad to see you all. Make sure you drop in the comments where you are joining us from.
Yes, yes, yes. So, tonight we are talking about habits, and we don't just want it. You can't just want it. You have to work for it. And you have to have aligned habits. And a lot of times, people struggle with that. They have bad habits. So tonight we want to talk about this. Everyone wants better. They want better health, better peace, better money, more money, better relationships. But wanting is not enough, like I just said. We have to do more than want. Everybody wants, but it's the actions that you take that really make the difference. And in this episode, we're getting honest about the habits that are either building the life we want and crave, or either blocking the one we truly deserve.
Right.
Aligned habits are where intentions meet action. And that's the part where people struggle with. They have intentions, but they aren't ready to take the action.
Right.
And without the action, your vision stays stuck in your head instead of showing up in reality. We're breaking down why consistency is more spiritual than sexy, how to shift habits that no longer serve you,
Right.
and who you are becoming,
Right.
and what it really takes to break cycles that create momentum. The conversation is for women who are tired of starting over, who are craving progress over perfection, and who are ready to stop negotiating with their growth. If you're really ready to trade excuses for alignment and habits, this episode is for you. Woo, 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 woo. All right. So we're super excited about this. So let's talk about these habits. And this is going to be big. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, what habits do you know are out of alignment with who you are becoming? What habits do you have now that you know are out of alignment with who you are becoming? And I want y'all to put this in the comments as well, as y'all are thinking about your habits. What are those habits that you have that's just not aligned? And in order to, go to your next level and to really be spicy,
Right.
you have to get in alignment for your God-given assignment. And so if your habits are not in tune and in alignment for the assignment that you are supposed to be doing,
Right.
you blocking the blessings.
Right.
You blocking where you're supposed to be going.
Right.
So what are some of those habits?
perfectionist.
Mm.
Being a perfectionist, trying to make sure everything's like right on and everything is perfect. Sometimes you don't have to do that. Sometimes you just have to, as I'm learning, jump in there and just go for it. Yeah, launch it dirty. And I just started my launch dirty. So I don't have to be a perfectionist at everything. There are certain things that I do now that I'm learning, especially now that my sisters here tell me, hey, look, slow down, stop, go the other way, sit down, stop. You know, I'm learning now to relax. I'm learning now that I don't just have to keep pushing. And it's made a difference too in my physical and my mental.
Love it, love it.
Well, I think for me, Tammy, I love that though, because we all learn through our process, and it's
Right.
not going to be the same.
Right.
So for me, it's been to understand that I'm not supposed to have my hands on everything, and everything that comes my way is not for me to fix.
Right.
It's not for me to take ownership of. So my habit is saying no or redirecting people. Because if I know I have a solution or what I think should look like for someone else, I'm neglecting myself on what the goal looks like for me and what I should be doing.
Right.
So I have to be able, especially if you ain't my client. But what I'm saying is, you know, be able to just acknowledge that I don't have to be involved. I don't have to be involved.
So
in that.
basically, what she is saying is overcommitment.
Yes,
She's
overcommitment.
overcommitting
Yeah.
to things that's not serving her, and she's not giving herself the best because of the overcommitment.
Mhm.
Which that's an issue that I have as well. A terrible habit of overcommitting, trying to think I'm superwoman and I got it going on. I can do all things, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes.
But we
Yes.
need to be sensible about stuff and make sure that the timing is correct, because sometimes we doing too much.
Right.
And then I overcommit, and I'm tired as hell.
Right.
And then I start procrastinating.
You know, but now we have a new system, right?
Yes.
When
well-
simply says
Oh.
no.
Oh yeah, she got me in line this week. And, something I was talking about, she was like, the answer is no. We're holding each other accountable,
Yeah.
even with the habits, because just the things that we're doing, we are really committed to this. Like, this is like number one priority at this
Absolutely.
moment for us to really put ourselves out there to reach women who are in the space and place where they're stuck.
Right.
And we want to help everybody to grow, to live that spicy life. So with that being said, we overcommit.
Yes.
And then now we have police. The spicy police.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
That's a siren. No. That's when you know you in trouble.
What's
when you
your
hear
bad
that.
habit?
No.
For me, and I can relate to what the other lady said as well, but for me, it's trying to be available to everyone and not being available for myself.
Overcommitted.
I'm working on it.
And not just yourself.
Right. I'm a work in progress.
Yeah. And of course we have other bad habits. I don't eat the best, but you know, I'm working on it.
But I'm working on it, and I started eating better, and I lost 10 pounds. So, it's all in what, oh, thank you. But it's all in what you put into it, and getting rid of those habits like Oreos and Doritos.
Ooh.
Cookies, cake, and candy.
M&M's.
That's your downfall. Cause you already got your hands on some M&Ms.
M&M's. I know.
No.
So basically, just changing your habits and I've changed my eating habits, I've changed my momentum, and I'm still now getting things done. I've actually completed my ebook, so
Congratulations.
that Yeah, so now I'm not procrastinating, you know, so it's all important, and when you stop and you take inventory of yourself, and you look at yourself and your habits, and you're not going anywhere, maybe you do need to make those changes, so you can see that changing and moving and doing, it can be done, and you'll see a different you, and you'll see things start to begin to happen, so it's important.
Very, very important. And so one of the things that I know is that the habits we just talked about and why we would do them, and they're hurting us. Why
Right.
would you hurt yourself?
Right.
And that's what bad habits are doing.
Right.
They're hurting you. They're not helping you
Right.
at all.
Right.
And so we have got to get to a space and place to understand that when we have bad habits, that is not serving us at all. And if we really care about who we are and whose we are, we have to do things that are going to help, not hurt.
Right.
So my question to you is, why is it easier to maintain those bad habits than to build the good ones?
Because bad habits become muscle memory, and you have to change your muscle memory. So if you find yourself doing something the same way all the time, look at it, try to do it a little differently. I mean, it's muscle memory. And habits have gotten us to where we are, but are we really where we want to be?
Right. It's not about where you are, it's about where you want to be. And so,
What you want to accomplish.
right, and as you have those bad habits, it's not taking you any closer.
No.
And a lot of that too is when you are around the same people doing the same thing, and you're not changing your circle, it goes back to the
360.
intentions. It goes back to the spirit. I mean, it's
The
a
energy,
whole
yeah.
system,
Yeah.
you know, and that's why we talked about Ish, because it's a system.
It
And
is.
so that's one of the things when you talk about habits, you need some type of system. Just even with cleaning up, take it out, put it back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's a system.
Yes. That's why my garage is clean.
Cause you got your system together.
Well, we have a path now.
We have a path.
So
And you have to get that space when you get up in the morning. What is that morning routine? If you get up and you scrolling on Facebook and then you watching the CNN constantly negative news, then your friend calling you at 6 a.m. in the morning, girl, let me tell you, this man pissed me up. That's a routine that you constantly doing, and you're not growing from that. So you got to do something
well,
different.
your first habit every morning should be to what? Talk to God, pray, get your day started. That first, number one.
And I want to share something I mentioned today on social media is that we are our own gatekeepers and we are our traffic controllers. We control what comes in, we
Yes.
control what goes out, we
Yes.
control what does not come in.
Right.
So when we talk about why is it so easy for us to keep up these bad habits, the first thing is to even recognize that they are bad habits. And because we do them without thinking, because we're comfortable with doing them, because it's become a part of our life. It's not a habit, it's a part of our lifestyle now because we've done it so often. So you don't think it's impacting you because you're so used to doing it.
Right.
But how do you get the tools? You need to get yourself in line with people, coaches, a mentor, someone that can show you how to set realistic goals so that you can start making small changes consistently so that they can become a habit that will lead to a healthier lifestyle,
Yeah.
that will lead to accomplishing the goals that you set for yourself.
For yourself. Everybody's goals aren't the same.
No, they are. And like Tammy said, when you get up in the morning, before your feet even hit the floor, you should be talking to God. But many times we talk to God and we're begging, we're pleading. Oh God, if you please just let me pay my light bill, give me the rent. We're not saying the right thing. So even really, before you talk to God, you know you're going to talk to him, but you got to go to this throne boldly. That ought to be a habit that you get inside of yourself, and you really, and to do that, you got to talk to yourself. When you wake up in the morning, Ooh, I know who I am and whose I am.
Right.
I am greatness. I am your child, God.
Right.
You talking to God, but you talking to you.
Right.
That's a habit that I have developed to talk about who God has made me. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
Amen.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So now I've hyped myself up. I'm feeling, and it's just not hype. It is actual a habit. It is a routine. It is an affirmation. I am affirming who I am. And I'm making that a habit. So now that I've affirmed who I am, now I'm going boldly to God's throne. Thank you, God, for waking me up this day.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord, for the blessings, my home, my children, my
Yes.
family, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Lord, that this is going to be the best day of my life thus
Yes.
far. So
Yes.
I'm speaking those things that I
Yes.
seek. And I'm going to God boldly
Yes.
and not wimpy, not whining and complaining about every single thing that is wrong.
Yes.
And so we have to think about when we wake up, how we're waking up. That habit is really, really important because
It
when
is.
you wake up, you need to command your day, because if you don't take charge of your day will take charge of you. It will start giving you
Yes.
all this negativity.
Yes.
Now you late. Now you can't find this. Oh Lord, where my keys? Where my this? Where my that?
Yes.
Instead of getting up, even if you got up and maybe you didn't know where your keys were, but you already talked to God. You already talked to yourself. You already spoke that greatness over you. You already know that everything is working together for your good. So then when you can't find them keys, you're not freaking every time I turn around. It ain't was one thing but one thing after another. No, everything is working together for my good. God, show me them keys, God. Where are my
And
keys?
then what happens?
They appear. Poof. It's God, not
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
And you know what you said, Renee, about being intentional about speaking to yourself, speaking over yourself, telling yourself who you are, reminding yourself who you are. And I want to ask you, I want to ask the Spicy Squad, I want to ask anybody that's new, that's watching,
Right.
you know, why don't you believe yourself, but you believe everything else that other people say about you?
Ooh.
Why don't you believe what you tell you about you?
Ooh.
Because it's not a habit. When you make it a habit, that's when you understand. It's routine. It's in you. It's ingrained in you. Now you understand, oh, I am greatness. Oh, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So when somebody else comes to tell you who you can't be and who you are and what you can't do, you already, but when I tell you people that you know, they knew me. Excuse me. Let me
New.
Hey,
New.
And a lot of times it's like, Mom, because I know you. I said, baby, don't speak that negativity over
There
me.
you go.
I shut it all the way down. You can't talk that over me. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening, Captain. Because I'm not playing that. And
But-
don't
and
allow people
will
to do that.
People will remember the old you, especially
'Cause
when
they're
you haven't
comfortable with
seen
that.
them. And they'll bring up stuff that you haven't thought about in age, but this is brand new you.
But they want to remind you of who you used to be, because that's what they're comfortable
But-
with
but-
you being.
But that's a habit of you allowing them
You
to
allow
let them
it.
do
So
it and say it. Stop it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
shut it
time-
down.
Yeah, shut it down.
Shut it
Let 'em see the
down.
Baby, they're not gonna just see it, they're gonna feel
Feel
it.
it.
Because I'm not playing.
Right.
I don't be
Thunder.
playing like around here. I'm not playing with nobody.
Right.
Don't even try to tell me what I used to do and who. You don't know me.
Yeah.
You knew me.
Right. Right.
That's why change is so important. But so many people stay stuck in the same and back in the past and how things used to be. And this is a new,
What had happened?
yeah, new day and age. It's a new day.
But they
It's
want
not
to keep other
yesterday.
people comfortable. They're so scared to grow. You're
Yeah.
afraid people going to talk about you, and you think you all that. You damn right, I sure do.
Yeah.
I did the work to be all that, and I
Yeah.
deserve to be where I am.
And a bag of chips.
Baby,
And
understand.
A Ruby.
And a soda. Okay.
And
And some M&Ms.
That's some chocolate M&M's, no peanuts.
Bad habit.
I know, right? Instead of getting a big pack, now I get
So, and that's how you start. So you get the little pack, you got the big, you forming different habits.
That's right.
Because you don't want to deprive yourself, then you break down, and
Right.
you just go back to it.
Right.
You're doing it in moderation.
Moderation.
That's a habit. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a lot of things that are really minute that you don't think about that you're switching out and you're changing. So with that being said, how do you stay consistent when motivation disappears? Because as much as we like to hope and think and wish that every day was the perfect day, it's the wonderful day, it's not going to be that. So how do you stay in this habit when the motivation, when the hype, when you don't have the sisters, you know, we hear all the time,
Right.
but sometimes you're gonna be by
by
yourself.
yourself.
So how do you stay
Well,
consistent?
For Tammy, simply Tammy,
Mhm. Simply.
I have 100% faith and trust in God. So when something goes wrong, I know it's either a lesson or it's happening so that he can move me into something else. So that takes practice to know though. So you just can't, what I'm telling you is practice. And when you know God and how he operates, that's how you respond to it, your response to what's happening. Because the outcome, we had something happen tonight, and the outcome of what happened tonight turned out beautifully. You know, and I said to them, listen, all that you did, look what happened. It still turned out beautifully. So it's all in your attitude and what happens and how you look at things. And when, for me, I let God guide me. I let God guide me. And so when something does go wrong, or if I need something, I'm trusting in him totally for what I need. And that's it.
Wait, I want to say, add to, because you said something very important. You talked about practice.
Yes.
That practice is called discipline.
Discipline.
That is what will be better any day than motivation. Motivation is hype. That is excitement and you know, in the moment, in the feeling. But when you not in that feeling, you not in that mood, you not in that space and place, and you don't really feel like it. Because some days, and the day was one of them days, I ain't feel like it. Didn't I tell you that this
Oh,
morning?
yes, you did.
But I kept saying, you know what, God is good. And I had already talked to myself. I already told myself who I am. I already told myself where I'm going and what I'm doing. And
Right.
today was going to be a great day. And it is a great day. And I already made up my mind. I have to stay disciplined. You have to stay disciplined. You have to owe yourself. You know, you owe yourself. We talked about that from the beginning. So when you get up and you continue to practice and practice, practicing is discipline. It's a habit
It's a habit.
that you're bringing forth that is going to help you to get in alignment for that assignment that you were called for. So that's really, really important. So that was a great thing.
Ooh, wow.
Yes.
That's good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, so. But our habits, you all, I'm just telling you, change them. If you feel a certain way and that way doesn't feel good to you, it's time to make a change. It's time to look at the situation that you're in at the time and make the change, because your body and your mind, you will feel it. You feel that something isn't right. And that's the time, you take the time then, and that's called taking inventory of yourself. And when you take inventory of yourself, that's how you start to move forward. That's how things are moved to the side, that you don't need to deal with the same way you've been dealing with them previously. So pay attention to yourself, your mind, and your body. It will tell you, I'm not in the right space and place right now. And it's up to you to sit down and say, okay, this happened, that happened. You have to take an inventory of the situation.
Love it. So, when you see that maybe you've gotten off track from the habits and you feel sort of disappointed in yourself,
Right.
what stories do you begin to tell yourself?
Well, I mean,
We all get off track. Nobody's perfect.
We do.
So what stories do you tell yourself when you get off track? Is it that negative self-talk?
No.
Dang, oh God, every time I turn around, oh my God, that was so stupid of me. I can't do it again. Why
Right.
the heck did I do? Are you starting to do that? Are you giving yourself grace? You know what? I
Yeah.
messed up, but let me get
Yeah.
right back on
Right
track.
back on track.
I'm greatness. I can still do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Right.
I'm the head and not the tail. I'm the top and not the bottom. I'm fearfully and wonderfully
Right.
made. God, I know you by my side, baby. God, thank you, Lord, because I can't lose. I don't do nothing but win.
When
And this is what I have to talk to myself because there be some negative stuff going on in my head. Right. I'm not lying. It be negativity. And you know, sometimes we have to be real here. These habits, they're hard sometimes. They're hard.
it's not
And we
easy.
have to be real, and then you tell people, and then they be trying to give you all this advice and this and that. And sometimes when people are trying to talk to you about your habits and this and that, you must be in a space and place
To receive.
to receive, but every day you might not need to receive. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in that space, you need to say that too.
Well, I have some habits,
Uh-huh.
and all my friends have gotten on me about them. So I'm listening, and it's paying off to listen. Okay, so so I'm the hard-headed one in the group. Okay,
They all are hard-headed to a certain extent.
well I'm the worst.
She said they, you should have said we.
We.
I don't-
Yeah, her too. So they call me hardhead because what?
Oh.
I'm hardhead.
But you
At
know,
least she admitted it,
Yeah.
because she is.
we have, if we take a moment, you know, because we have to, like Renette said, grace is something that we're
Yeah.
not too familiar with. And we do have to give ourselves grace. If we take the time to sit down for 30 minutes and write down and realize we have more victories than we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah.
So when you run into those moments of you missed something or you forgot something or something didn't quite go right, you have the ability to start over. There's no need to stop. There's no
Yeah.
need to quit. You have the ability to keep going and remember the moments that you were a victor or that you victoried over so many other things in your life, and yet you're right here now today. So don't forget how you championed along the way through your journey, and bring yourself current state, knowing that you have that same energy, you are that same person with more power and more knowledge every single day, and keep being that champion.
Yeah.
If you do not know how to identify those things, get yourself in a community. Align yourself with mentors, coaches, a community that is going to push you to thrive and see past where you are. And I remember when my grandmother was up in age and I was asking her something about the next year. She would always say, I can't see that far. And I didn't understand that until now that I'm older. And I'm a visionary. I can always see farther than where I am today. And I would encourage you to do the same. Just envision yourself already successful and taking those steps.
Amen.
Reach out to people because they have resources that you may not even be aware of that could move you closer to where you want to be.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that
one-
was big.
One thing that I will add to that for me is I've learned to give myself grace, right? Give myself a little grace and understanding that every day is a new day. So sometimes you have to start over. Sometimes you have to pivot. And also understanding that a lot of it comes from, we talk about the stories that we tell ourselves. It's a mindset because the old me used to vent on the negativity of what didn't go right, right? So it's a mindset shift. So it takes work to change the way that you think about things, to change the way that you react to things. But, every day is a new day where you can start over.
Yes.
Yes, that was awesome. And the way you said giving yourself grace, that's a habit right there. Because, we might mess up every single day. That's just a part of life. You're going to go through some things, some failures, some mishaps or whatever. So every time you have a mishap, are you going to start talking negatively about yourself, like she just said. That used to be what she did all the time. And that's what most of us did all the time. But once you get to a better space and place, it can be a new habit to give yourself grace. And that new habit is helping you to grow. That is growing you. That is making you a better person. And so I just love that.
When you do that, not only do you feel your new energy, but people can feel
Absolutely.
your new energy.
They
That's
can.
absolutely
They can.
correct.
It is. So I just wanted to bring that.
No, that's very, very true. So, what I wanna, you wanted to say something? Okay. What I wanted to say, next question, which habits were passed down to you that you never questioned? What habits were passed down to you that you,
I question those. For me, I would say I grew up in a praying house, so the habit of having a prayerful life, I continue that.
that's great.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, because I know my mom used to say, don't never put your purse on the floor.
Oh, I don't get that. It's not in the Bible. It doesn't mean anything to me.
So it's okay to put your
That's
purse on the
that's
floor.
My purse on the
superstition.
floor
Step
right
on
now.
crack and break your mama's
Right.
back.
Yeah.
Mama,
Oh,
back
don't
never
flip the
broke.
floor.
So I'm
My
sorry.
purse on the floor
Right,
right
And
there.
that's what I wanted to, like, bring out all the splitting the poles and,
Right.
you know, I find myself still sometimes walking around, making sure I'm not splitting the poles.
Split-
That
It's
is
a
a
habit.
habit.
It's
It's a habit.
It's a habit that was passed down to us, and those are things
Yeah.
You didn't
that
ask why.
we didn't
We didn't
ask
ask
why,
why.
we just did it.
Yeah.
And
We
so-
talked about some of those
on the
superstitions in
bed.
one of our previous
Yeah, in the earlier
episodes.
episodes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Because
Yeah.
we have to recognize that, because that could be holding us back when
Absolutely.
we didn't question stuff.
Mhm.
And so right now, if you're doing some of those things that are from your childhood that you didn't question, it's time for you to start questioning, why am I doing this? What sense does it make? Am I growing from this? Is
Right.
this crazy? Like,
Right.
what am I doing?
Well, I know
And
one.
that's,
Go ahead.
and I'm sorry, thank
Go
you.
ahead.
That's being cognizant of your behavior.
Yeah.
And when you get to the place when you understand, like you have the mindset to question it. And I had to come to this epiphany after I was grown, this before my mother passed, and she would call and tell me to turn to something on TV that she was watching, and I was full blown into doing something else. But I would stop what I was doing and go do what she told me to do. I had to realize I'm grown. I ain't gotta turn to the Travel Channel. I don't
You
want to
better
watch
turn that
that.
traffic channel.
And my cognitivity comes in. Our cognitivity kicks in when you realize I am doing all of these little nuances in life that's not adding to your journey. It's not developing your experience. And a lot of those seeds that were planted,
Right.
most of them are negative mindsets. And you have to learn how to reframe your mind so you can renew your perspective.
Right.
Because we have to see ourselves brand new. I had to see myself that I'm not 8 years old anymore. I need to do exactly what my mother says.
Right.
You know, I had to see that I don't have to do certain things the way they did it just because that was my
Yeah.
grandmother and that's how she did it.
Yeah.
And that was my mother and that's how she did it. I am in control. Thank you, Lord, for that. I'm in control of what I decide to do for me
Right.
and how I project myself towards my powers and my dreams, because everything God gave me, He gave it just to me. What He gave me, He didn't give the same to you. So I have to be a steward of what He gave me and understand I have the right to choose and make changes. That belongs to me. That's being cognitively aware of my decisions.
Absolutely. And one of the things I was thinking about that was really big to me, that I never questioned. I know y'all have heard this. Don't question God. You are not to question God. That's a problem. People, my mother always said that, and I heard people say that all the time. But your earthly father, if you had a question, then you go to him and get some answers and find out. And I think that changed my entire life, because I need to ask God some questions.
Right.
I need some answers.
And He wants you
How
to
am I
ask
supposed
Him.
to get answers if I can't ask questions? And I understand that God makes no mistakes, but I need to know. I got questions. And so when you don't get those questions answered, you either gonna be miserable and stay stuck in the same space and place, or you gonna fall off and not really want to be bothered because you can't even ask the question.
Well, there's two sides to that.
Okay.
You have to ask God sometimes, what is it I'm supposed to do? What is my direction? Now, if you are questioning God's way, that's different. It's totally different. Okay? I do go to God and say, what is it you have me do? I don't know at this time. So I'm questioning something, and it may be something in the Bible that I don't understand. You have to ask God, what do you mean? What do you want from me? Why am I reading this scripture? He'll let you know. He'll lead you there. If you're questioning God because you wanted something one way, your way, and that's not His way,
Learn today.
you're gonna be taught a lesson.
I believe that a lot of times the things that God does we don't understand, and we're not supposed to lean to
We're
our
not supposed
own
to.
understanding.
Right.
But I will question God to show me, to help me, to guide me in
Right.
the way that I need to go. So I still need to question, even though it's His way. I believe that I'm going to question, and I do question God because a lot of stuff I don't understand, and I need clarity. I need understanding. So I got to question Him about what He's saying or what He's doing. Not that I'm not going to be obedient, but if I don't understand and I never ask questions, how am I supposed to be obedient? How am I supposed to obey? Because I have my whole little way set. Like, this is what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. But if God got something different for me,
Right.
and I'm hearing, because a lot of times I think one way, and I will clearly hear God tell me, that ain't what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, I'm about to say, well, God, why not? I need to understand that.
Right.
So I believe that as God is my Father, I can question Him about anything, because if I don't know what He wants me to do, I got to ask. I got to find out. So even if it is His way, I still need to know, okay, that's your way. So what way, how do I move forward? How do I understand what you're saying? How do I move to do this? Because a lot of times, if you definitely, I didn't want to go there, I was about to go there. Because there are a lot of people, you're not going to question God about your way. If you're having sex before marriage, okay, what is God's way? For you not to do it.
Not to do it.
Okay, but I'm saying, so yeah, we can sit and say, but I mean, it is what it is.
But God forgives you.
Now
But
we
you
just
gotta correct your
Jesus
mistakes.
got it. Jesus paid it all.
You gotta
Jesus
correct
paid
your
it all.
mistakes. You gotta leave it.
Jesus paid it all. Lord, you fine. But let me tell you. No, but seriously, Renee, I agree with you 1,000% because He said,
Shenanigans and
Lord, God, you already know. Listen, God say, seek me. He wants you to engage with Him. He wants that dialogue so
Yes.
He can lead you and have that exchange with you. So I absolutely agree with Renette that we do get to ask God questions because you have not because you ask not. So He wants you to seek Him and
It's in the
ask.
Bible.
Now you are not always going to get the answer you want or looking for. But
Right.
if you, and I always say, they say, let go and let God. If you focus on God, you'll know what to let go.
Right.
But you gotta have these conversations with Him.
Mhm.
Ask. Ask. I promise you, He gonna show you something.
He
I didn't say you was gonna like it, but I
Yeah.
promise you He gonna
That's
show you
right. He may
something.
not like it, but He knows what's best.
But He know what's best and He know better than you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And me too, yeah.
But you gotta be, you asking them questions, you have to be in a position to listen.
Don't you hate that when somebody asks you something and already
Here.
got the answer before you open your
Right.
mouth?
Right.
Don't do that.
So you can't ask,
Don't do that.
and He's not gonna be loud about it. He's coming quietly.
Right in here.
Yeah. And one of the things we talked about earlier was slowing down. And
Mhm.
sometimes you have to slow down so that you can hear.
Say that again, Toya.
And you have to slow down when your sisters tell you to slow down.
Show that.
Yeah.
They're trying to convict me on here for something. What?
just heard me too. 'Cause-
Oh, now this one right here. Oh, Lord. Okay?
Oh, good stuff. I'll slow down with this.
They trying.
But I always want to tell people what to do and how to do it. If they ain't one that don't follow directions. But anyways, we'll move on.
She said, you nice.
I'm calling you out. I surely am. Okay,
Good
so,
stuff.
what are you committed to changing? And what will it cost you if you don't?
I'm willing to change my habit of consistently moving, going, and doing. I know last time Latoya was here, I know I made her dizzy. She finally said, sit down. So you have to change your habit, and you have to, you have to slow down sometimes. And now that I have, it's so much better, and I'm still getting things done. I just don't have to do it the way I was doing it, but sometimes it takes somebody around you to say, hey, look, you know, you don't need to do that. You need to slow down. That'll get done. And guess what? It will.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, take it back there.
what I want to do now is talk about, well, I want to go back to that question. The thing that you're going to do, what you just said you're going to do, what you just said you're going to do.
I'm gonna slow down.
Slow down.
Yeah.
I'm putting y'all on the spot now.
I didn't commit to anything yet.
Yeah.
She didn't commit to anything.
Ooh, they don't want to commit
So-
to the
No, I've committed to a bunch of things. Slowing down, and I've even had to, one of my favorite things to do is swim in the ocean. Now I can't anymore, because I'm telling you, 10 of my friends have said, get out of the water. There's sharks out there, you can't see them. So now I'm scared, and I'm changing that habit. I go knee deep now, but they do make sense, because somebody showed me. They circled the sharks out of the water where I was. They sent it to me. And that made me a believer. So now I changed that habit.
Very good.
I am newly committed to letting go of things that I feel like I need to hold on just because I created them or I attached a
Oh,
goal
yeah.
to that. And so I gotta do, I have to learn how to let go and put my focus on the biggest impact and power. So wherever God is leading my energy to, I have to focus on that and not keep looking back at some things that I still have in the back of my mind. Oh, I need to do that. Or that's waiting for me. Some things we have to let go because it can become weight. It becomes weight that distracts us and hold us down. And I always talk about we do not want to be too fat to fly. If we're too fat to fly, all the weight that's holding us down, we have the ability to free ourselves so that we can elevate and go to the next level.
Right.
So my commitment is letting some things go professionally, my God, and personally.
Yeah.
Praise God. So that is my commitment of letting things go. So I'm elevating to the next level.
I like
I
that.
see you when you get there.
Yes. Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, so my commitment, and I've started this, I'm modeling my sister right here. Rest is my friend. Because I used to be that woman that stayed up all times of night, and I wake up bright and early. I go to bed at 1, 2 o'clock, and I'm up at 4. Stop doing that, Tammy. And so now I'm committed. Latoya, how you looking like that?
I'm thinking of mine, and I have so many. They're just, so.
Okay, because y'all looking like I'm not
But
telling the truth.
No, she is. She's telling the
No,
truth, because we're
I-
not on the phone at night anymore. Till 2 in the morning.
Because I gotta go to bed. Rest is my friend.
Yes.
Rest, I'm young, and I don't want to look old and tore down and ragged. So I gotta keep the beauty up.
There you
That
go.
means I got the rest. So that's my commitment. I'm proud of me.
I'm proud of
Me too, I'm so proud of you.
Cause I just don't understand what y'all be talking about. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know.
Well, no, but she quit us before, you know. So
I will definitely.
I did.
I
That's her
did.
famous word.
Behind the clock, those eyes.
It's
start-
shut down.
And do not disturb me, popping on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe her new commitment will be to step a little later.
No.
Oh,
I make exceptions.
She did.
Yeah, with that
On
nice
Thursday
coffee.
nights.
Oh, you made an exception the other night though, you did Sunday night. Was that Sunday
I
night?
did.
Saturday night.
I did. But
Oh, yeah.
No, that was Monday.
That was Sunday?
That
was
That was Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah, because I didn't want to, because I didn't want to be the first one to go to bed.
They trying to stay up, so you can stay up the longest,
Yeah.
you know. I left all
I
over.
still fell asleep, but I didn't want to be the
They
first one
went-
to say goodnight.
They went to bed early.
They were, me and that was up hanging out.
But that was an exception for me because I am doing better.
Yes,
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 she
y'all,
is.
y'all are, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
So
And
y'all,
Latoya gets all her rest, all of it.
And with that being said, it's
that's
not.
that's a habit you need to keep. That's one.
One I'm trying to,
And she's very focused too. That's a good habit that you have. You have the most disciplined, I would say, in the group. Who is the most disciplined?
Latoya.
Thank you.
Yeah. But she's
I'm here to
very,
hear that.
very, very focused.
It's
and
an
she keeps-
inspiration.
and then if
It's
you
fine.
see her being that way and doing it that way, and it works,
And it inspires you
and
to
it
do.
inspires you to do.
Like I said, people, align yourself with people who charge you to see past where you are and to see past the horizon. I'm inspired every day by these 3 women. And I know we have shenanigans, we cut up, we laugh, we have a good time together. But when it's time to pour and inspire and hold each other accountable,
Oh, yeah.
oh, it happens.
Oh,
Oh, trust
yes.
me, it happens. But the space that is created here, we know that it's in love, and we get time with each other collectively and individually, and we grow from that. So that is my inspiration, that everything that these women gift me with from their life, their journeys, and their experiences, that's a gift to me, and it's up to me. I'm responsible to do something with that.
Yes, yes. Oh,
I
Mr.
actually.
Larry is talking.
Mr.
Larry.
Larry!
Hey, Mr. Larry!
Mr. Larry, I have a client for you. I'll be getting in touch.
Yes, and that's our photographer, y'all.
Hey.
Yes, yes, so that's wonderful. So, what I wanted to bring up next is, as we're talking about this, if y'all have not read the book or heard of the book, and this book can never get old, it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. So just wanted to talk about some things in reference to that book. And number 1, it says you do not rise to the level of your goals. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And we were just talking about systems. Remember we said, are your
That's deep.
habits helping you or hurting you?
Right.
Many people set powerful intentions, which we talked about. You should have some intentions.
Right.
And they feel spiritually aligned, but they still struggle to see change because they haven't built systems, which is the habits.
Right.
You build a system.
Right.
Like you said, you practice.
Right.
When we practice, as I was talking about, I'm getting up in the morning, I'm talking to me. And I got to talk to God right instead of going to him wimpy, whining. I'm
Right.
going to the throne boldly
Bold.
with lots of courage.
Yes.
Like I'm going to believe that I could do anything.
Right.
Mark 11:24, ask and believe and you will receive.
See.
And so that's where I am. And so we have to get in that space when you're talking about habits. Habits are systems. Systems. And y'all know everything is built on systems. So when you don't have a system, things fall apart. And that's the bottom line. So the second one that I felt was really important, number 2, it says every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Ooh.
That's nice.
This goes with what habits are you secretly sabotaging with your what habits are you secretly sabotaging? what's sabotaging your progress.
Right,
And so as you think about every habit you take,
right.
why would you want to be the weapon formed against your own self?
Ooh.
You know? So it's very important
Mm.
that you know that every step, every place you go, that's a vote for who you want to be.
Right.
So who you want to be? Lazy, turned off, not doing nothing, or you want to be that successful person,
Thank you.
walking in that greatness,
Yeah.
taking action.
Yeah.
Or you want to be that person that's shrinking back,
No.
that's playing small,
Right.
or you about to jump into the big pond
Right.
instead of that little local ocean. Okay? So every action,
Yeah.
that's real powerful to
Real
me,
powerful. I like that.
is a vote for the type of person you're trying to become. Let's talk about this third one. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Yeah.
What small habit we just talked about could you change today that would create a ripple effect in your life? And I just talked about it. It's a couple of them. But sleep is one of them for me. I need to rest. I need to eat better. That's something that could really change my whole life. But
But you can say that you want to change a habit, but you have to pay attention to yourself and
that's
your
what we
step
talked about.
and your way you are. Pay attention. You have to be intentional about paying attention to yourself.
That's why you need the systems.
Yeah.
Because when you have the
Write it
systems,
down.
yeah.
We talk to you all about something about journaling. Write it down. Write it down.
Yeah, and then the consistency thing, they
Yeah.
said it takes, so long, 30
30
days of
days.
consistency to make something a habit. So if there's a habit a positive habit that you're trying to implement in your life, you have to come up with the systems, which could be the journaling, which could be, getting someone to help keep you accountable, for at least 30 days. That's a minimum. Some of us may not take that long, some of us may take longer.
Right.
But, the word on the street is at least 30 days
That's true.
of consistency will help you maintain that habit.
I agree with that because that consistency, it goes back to the first series of the first episode of this series, intention. You have to be intentional.
Right.
And for me is to have a routine, which takes us back to system.
Yeah.
So I have to be intentional to enforce the boundaries that I set so that I can perform my routine every day and check my spirit as I'm going through, which was the second episode.
Yes.
I check my spirit as I'm going through
Say
because
that.
we are always going to come against something. And it's up to us to check our spirit or how we respond to the something. Because people happen, things happen, people fall away, but how we respond to it is up to us. And the habit that I want to have, which is what we're talking about in the series, in episode 3 of this series,
Right.
for habits is I want to habitually be committed to my routine. And if the routine calls for me to shift in any way, I need to be open to see the opportunity, the need, and have the tools so that I can shift into what I'm going to do next.
Yes. Ooh.
Absolutely, I love that.
Girl.
And that's why, and even just having the series,
Yes.
it's just, I mean, it's a system, and
Exactly.
it worked real well, and it
Exactly.
flows. And if you have been watching this series, then you should have really gotten something from it. If you haven't, our first was intention, spirit, and tonight is habit. And so I want to go over the last thing that I got from not the last thing, but the last thing I wanted to pick out was from James Clear. True behavior change is identity change. So when we talked about what stories do you tell yourself that keep you from current habits, what stories? We talked about that. So you need to really be intentional about that. Intentional, spirit, and the habits. And so that when you're intentional and you really start to think about your spirit and then get your habits in line, that helps you to truly identify who you are. And a lot of people don't do that. I heard somebody say the other day that, people don't really want to face their own identity. They have lie-identity. When they're lying to themselves. Lie-identity.
They got what?
Lie-identity. Because they continue to tell themselves all of these lies instead of being honest. The hardest person it is to face is usually yourself.
Right.
And so if you won't continue with the lie identity instead of the identity, how are you supposed to move ahead? When you have something, I know it's hard to face, but we gotta face and embrace and move forward. And so when we get in that space, that's how we move ahead. So it says James Clear totally emphasizes the most powerful way to create lasting habits that shifts how you see yourself. Instead of saying, I want to work out, say, I'm someone who prioritizes their health.
Yes.
I am someone who prioritizes my health. I am someone who prioritizes my health because I'm going to get some rest
Yes.
and I'm going to eat right.
There you go.
Oh, I do that, baby. I'm good at that now. And that's a habit that I could really, like, I didn't even talk about that. I let me pat my own self
there you go.
because I drink water.
Yes.
She didn't used to.
Baby, I go home.
She used to fight me on drinking water.
And now, that's something if you go to my car, you will see my cup. You saw I had my cup the other day, right?
Yep.
And I finished that cup and I'm on my third one for today. So yes.
Habits, changes,
Habits.
habits.
Yes, I did a consistency. Remember when I did that consistency challenge in the next level group for women? And my thing was for 30 days to make sure I drank water every day. It was a struggle, but I did it, and I've been doing well since. So when they just talked about the 30 days, like, yeah. If somebody told me, say, you grown and you ain't drinking water, you should be shamed.
All women should be drinking water. You need to flush your system.
You
Clean your
should,
system
yeah.
out.
I mean, but I didn't like it, and I now
Add a
I
little
want to do
lemon.
it. Yeah, so I think that was great, and I think that we really, really need to pay attention to those habits because it will change your life. And if you have not seen this entire series, you need to go back and watch it, okay? Watch it. Yeah, so we can about to end it. It's 9:26.
Wow.
Ooh. Okay. Yes. Now, we're gonna have a challenge this week. We're gonna start bringing people. There's more women that need to know about this. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Go through your phone and start letting people know. And then we need to get out some prizes to those people that's getting the people on this podcast. Because this is something that's needed. You know, you could tell people about who did your braids and who did this and that, you know, all the things. We refer people to stuff all the time.
Right.
Refer them to this because this is something that is helping people to really question themselves, to really think about those people that's dealing with their identity, those people that are dealing with the demons in their head, being the weapons formed against themselves. Let's help people to turn this around.
Right.
And get in a space and place where we're growing every single day. But it has to be, you know, intentional. You have to have the right spirit, and you have to have good habits, which is system. Now, look for us. It's not coming right away, but we're going to do a whole summit on Get Your Ish.
Yes.
Okay? And we'll be bringing in speakers. It's going to be really amazing.
Right.
Just stay tuned. Stay following us, because, baby, we're going to bring it to you.
And before we close, Ms. Newton, again, we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
a blessing to us today, and it meant a lot.
Wait, do we?
Yes.
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 You know what? Yes, we have
This is
to.
beautiful.
So you want to hold
She
that
blessed
up
us today with some beautiful gifts,
Yeah.
and we just wanted to publicly thank you because one
there? Thank
blessing
you,
to
Miss
another.
Newton, Miss Gail Newton.
Yeah, she gave us this. This is the shoe bag.
And
Y'all
these
look
are
at this.
our coasters.
And she has our names on. This is Gail's right here.
Personalized.
I mean, personalized it. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
And
you, and our coasters.
we have coasters. Each one of us got
Right.
coasters. That's Gail Newton. She does all kinds of things.
Yes.
If you can think of it, she can get it done.
Yes.
Okay, so y'all want to get with Gail Newton.
Yes.
Follow her. She is amazing. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, what are the little things that they wear when they go to, the little horse thing, what did they have 2 weeks
Horse
ago?
thing.
The fascinator.
Fascinating.
Fascinate, she does fascinate.
Oh, she does beautiful fascinators. Yep.
So,
If you having a tea party and you want to have a fascinator, she does those.
Yes.
Yeah. So we said we was gonna it was 9:26. It is 9:29. Okay, y'all. So we about to be outie.
Yes.
We thank y'all for joining. We want y'all to share this out. And let's get the Spicy Sisters out there, helping as many women as we can. We want to touch lives and help people to get the spice in their life. The
Oh.
spice of life.
Yes, let me say something real quick. You know, a lot of women are approaching us outside of being on camera and thanking us for helping them. So we just want to thank you all too.
Yes, thank you.
And that lets us know that more people are watching. So we appreciate you and thank you as well.
And have a good evening.
Good night.
Good
Keep it
night.
spicy. Spice of life.
Okay.
I was like, who gonna-